this is the kind of setup where the tornado will remain on the ground for a long period of time, and it is starting to head into a densely populated area. So you need to make sure you take cover. If you're watching from the Blue Hill part of Chatham County, northern Lee County, you should already be in your safe place. If you're in southwestern Wake County and in the Raleigh area, you need to seek shelter now. Get away from the television set. If you have a radio, take it with you. Turn it on Mix 101.5. We're simulcasting right now. I guess if you have a laptop computer, take that in there with you too, because you can keep track of what's happening on WRL.com as well. This storm is moving rapidly to the northeast at 60 miles per hour. Nate's been scanning what's been going on, and it really looks impressive. Now, a couple of things to note. At the bottom of the screen, for our viewers who are watching Robeson County, there's a really nasty cell that's coming in out of South Carolina. You see the black showing up, and I want to zoom in there. And this is a potential nasty storm that will be moving into Robeson County. It looks like it's closing in on I-95. That's a little bit of a picture. You can see the shear voltage showing up. It's likely has large hail associated with it moving into Robeson County. And we're looking at the communities here of Raleigh, also the Raymond community, and there is the Pembroke community as well. So this is something we're going to be watching, because not only will it likely affect Robeson County, but eventually, if it holds together, it may make its way into Cumberland County. It may be a concern or a threat for Fayetteville and the areas there. But right now, we're watching that storm that's in Blue Hill and Chatham County making its way into southern Wake County. But I know, Nate, you've got live data on the radio, so we're having updated images more than I do on what I'm showing. So
again, we're watching this debris signature just to the northeast of Sanford. This is going to be moving into southwestern Wake County very shortly here. So folks in Holly Springs, western parts of Gateway Marina need to pay close attention to this. The signature that we're concerned about is this area here right on top of Brickhaven. If you live in Brickhaven, you're listening to us, hope you've been listening to us from your basement, because that's where you need to be. This is Highway 42 is going to move into downtown Gateway Marina. This is Highway 1. It's at the coast near Bondport. And this area is going to be clipping into the extreme southwestern corner of Lake County. I'm going to zoom out to give you a little perspective, and you're getting the advance notice for these particular thunderstorms. All right. You zoom back out and look at this storm in southern Robeson County just real quick, and then we're going to focus back up on the storm getting ready to move into Wake County. This storm down to the south is impressive. It's moving out of South Carolina. Notice a very impressive rotation signature here, a little click echo. So folks in Pembroke and eventually Maxton, Laurinburg, and Red Springs. Wow, this is a deja vu, Mike. The last time we had a high risk was 1984. And you remember the Carolinas outbreak that damaged Red Springs. This thunderstorm may be moving in your direction. So if you're in Red Springs, just keep an eye on it right now, but be ready to take shelter if you need to. Mike?
Yeah, we're looking at the velocity signature on the dual Doppler 5000, and the greatest area of threat right now is in the Boot Hill portion of Chatham County, in the Granville and eventually Vance counties. So you need to seek shelter immediately. Let's go to our storm tips real quick. Just as a general reminder, if you have a basement, that's the best place to go to. If not, on the lowest floor of your house, an interior room, the smallest room is usually the more structurally sound room, be it a closet or a bathroom. And also stay away from windows, because windows will shatter, the glass will fly, and you can get injured from that. Get under some sturdy furniture or a bathtub. It would be a good idea to take pillow cushions. I've heard stories of people taking mattresses and putting them over themselves to protect them. And if you're a car, you're listening to us on Mix 101.5, do not try to outrun a tornado. You want to abandon your car and seek shelter in a culvert or a ditch on the side of the road. If you're in a mobile home, you need to find a brick structure, because you're not going to be afforded any security in a mobile home. You need to find your safe place, as Nate's been saying all afternoon. A safe place is the best place to be, and you need to find it right now. Now, if Nate is set up and ready to go, he'll tell you more about the tornado warning that is in effect for Cumberland and Hope County.
This storm right now is moving over Rayford as we speak, and it is, go back, I want to update the storm track now, moving over Rayford, heading toward Foxfire, Beaver Creek, eventually Springfield in about 15 minutes or so. There's also going to be some hail north of Rayford in this thunderstorm. We're concerned with a potential developing tornado in Rayford. We'll put some streets on here for you. This is Highway 401 as it continues east from Rayford into Fayetteville. I'm going to try and clean the screen up a little. We've got a lot going on here. And Highway 401, seeing debris. What the radar looks to be showing us some debris with that signature, and that shows up nicely right at the tip of that click echo. So folks in Holly Springs, This tornado is on your doorstep right now, and it's going to be crossing over. This is the. I'm going to zoom in and show you some of the streets in Holly Springs. We're now really getting into a very populated area. This is Highway 55, and this is the new Highway 55 bypass that's been built over the last few years. This is going to be crossing over the Highway 55 bypass. This is Grassy Meadow Road here, Holly Springs Road rather. It becomes Holly Springs New Hill Road off toward the west of Holly Springs. But folks in Holly Springs, especially west of downtown, west of the Cultural Center, and north of the Cultural Center, this area is right on top of you. You need to be getting into the lowest level of your home. You need to stay away from windows and try and get into either a basement or a closet or something that's got some walls that are very close together in the event that there's debris flying around. But folks in Holly Springs, there's very likely a tornado on the ground or a very dangerous circulation just right on top of you and just off toward your west along the in North Carolina 55 bypass. It's going to be moving off toward the northeast and eventually be moving into the extreme eastern parts of Apex and into eastern Cary and eventually into the southern part of Raleigh. Mike?
Hey, we've had storm reports. A new storm report came in from Lee County.
Debris that's been picked up either by a tornado on the ground or by a tornado moving the debris that was picked up back in Lee County is carried into Wake County courtesy of this particular thunderstorm. But the purple area is off toward the northwest of Holly Springs and then along Highway 1 here in Apex. I'm guessing the debris is falling as fast as hail, at least inside the thunderstorm.
Likely out of this cell as it races off towards the northeast. So what we'll do is we'll run that. If you have Chad on the phone, if you have something really important to add, we've got a witness from Lee County. Whenever you're ready to let us on the phone right now is a witness, a truck driver actually, Ed Ford. You're driving through Lee County, Mr. Ford, thanks for your time. Tell us what you see out there.
Well, I can't get these roads talking about my fault. Stuff off the top of the road. Roads, so there's just a mess right.
So, sir, did you say the low, is it the grocery store or the hardware store?
It's Lowe's Home Improvement.
So Mr. Horn telling us on the ground in Lee County that the Lowe's Home Improvement store in Sanford is destroyed. Mr. Horn, we appreciate the time. We will definitely check back with you in a little while. And stay safe out there. We want to bring it back to Raleigh now and get to our Chad Flowers, who is on top of the RBC Center building in downtown Raleigh. Chad, fill us in, and I know you're way up there.
Yeah, on the top floor of the RBC Plaza downtown Raleigh. This is the storm you're talking about back in the area back to your south of Raleigh. Lightning going off, heavy lightning itself. Guard to your left, Holly Springs straight ahead, and then carry off to your right a little bit. Just a black dot. You can see the wind, the lightning is the sun here, and there's just there's clouds that are hitting. Right now, there's no rain here. We've got a fall of rain that's lingering at this moment. But right now, that section right there is where the majority is black, really dark clouds that's coming down to the ground. And like I said, massive lightning, thunder, and it looks looks rough back in that Raleigh Springs, and back towards Lake County.
All right, Chad, you be safe on top of that building. We appreciate the update. Really quickly, before we send it back to Mike, for our golfing viewers, we want to let you know that if you're tuning into the Texas Open, you can get that coverage in Time Warner Cable Channel 106 or over the air 5.2. Again, if you're tuning in to the Texas Open here in WREO, we moved that to WREO 2. You can find it on Time Warner Cable 106 over the air at 5.2. As Mike and Nate have been alluding to all afternoon, we're talking all of Wake County now. We all need to bring
It is a bad store. And you were telling us about the Lowe's home improvement store that was demolished in Sanford, reporting orange.
Apparently he's been stuck in that area. He's a trucker. He's not really within the middle of the road. And he says when he looks over to his left or his right side, he looks at the Lowe's home improvement store in Sanford. He says it's completely demolished.
Well, the storm that we're looking at now on the Blue Doppler 5000 radar is the one that produced that damage in Sanford. It is in Wake County right now. We've had reports of debris in the air, roofing material over Apex, so it is likely either it's on the ground or maybe just a funnel, but just the signature that we're seeing is and we are actually in line to have the tornado to move close to our facility here. Now, I will stop this and show the latest. What we're looking at right now, this is the area that the rotation would be showing up. And I want to zoom into there right now. And let me take that telestration off. Okay, so we're talking about Penny Road and...
Yeah, I know, Jay.
Let me get really hyper-specific, so to speak, with the roads that we're looking at. There's Penny Road. That is Laney Franks Road. And we're starting to get heavy rainfall here at the WRL Studios. Right here, that should be Graham Newton Road. And Bells Lake Road is adjacent to that to the south. So what we're looking at is this vicinity here. So if you're living in Faze Road, let me take that off, Faze Road, there's Holly Springs Road. This road is Yates Mill Pond Road. This is where we're seeing the rotation. If there's a tornado on the ground, it is in this area right now. So if I widen out the view, here's Raleigh. It is heading towards downtown Raleigh. Moving to the northeast rapidly at about 60 miles per hour. You need to take shelter now. Likely a tornado on the ground. It has produced damage. It will be moving right over the station shortly. Let's...
6.
Okay, Nate's got a storm track on Weather 6, so let's take a look at that.
So the storm, this area of circulation we're concerned about is just to the west of Penny Road, the intersection with Holly Springs Road there, Kildare Farm, just to the southwest of downtown Raleigh. And you can see some of the communities that are going to be affected. The Westover area, which is near NC State, Carter Finley, the Carter Finley Stadium area, Hayes Barton at 352. Millbrook at 357, New Hope at 357, and Bayleaf and Six Forks just after 4 o'clock. This storm has a history of doing major damage to sturdy structures. Now, we do not have a spotter confirmation of this being on the ground, but every indication we've got from the radar is that there's still something kicking up debris with this, either strong winds or a tornado on the ground in this area. So if you live in any of this area southwest of Raleigh between Holly Springs and the Interstate 40, or what used to be called the Outer Belt Line on the south side of Raleigh, you need to take shelter from this thunderstorm immediately. Go get to the lowest level of your home, stay away from windows, get into a bathroom, and ride out the storm there. And again, what we're looking at is this hook shape indicating that we've got the winds blowing in a circular fashion like a tornado, but also this area here, right where I have Penny Road marked, is a suggestion that we may have some debris still in the air. We've had reports of debris falling out of the air from this storm upwards to 5 to 10 miles away from this area. So areas to the southwest of Raleigh, southwest of the Interstate 440 Beltline, you need to be taking shelter. And folks in downtown Raleigh and West Raleigh, you are next with us. You need to be in your safe place. Mike?
Hey, Nate, 911 reported there was a tornado on the ground in Holly Springs, so there is a tornado on the ground.
Okay.
With this. So we are treating this as if there was an actual tornado on the ground. Moving through the Macedonia community right now, if you go there, you see on the Dual Doppler 5000, we've got the Outer Beltline, I-40 here. There is Lake Wheeler Road. Lake Johnson or Lake Wheeler right about here. There's US Highway 70, there's Avon Ferry Road and Western Boulevard where you see those intersect. That's where WRAL is located, and of course right here is downtown Raleigh. Now, it was 2 years ago that Greg and I were on the air in May, and we had the signature of a tornado move across Cary and Western Boulevard over downtown Raleigh. It did not produce a tornado, and we always wondered what would have happened if the tornado actually touched on the ground. And I'm sad to think that if the tornado actually was on the ground, what kind of damage it could do. But it is heading into a highly populated area. If you're listening on the radio to Mix 101.5, you need to stay away from downtown Raleigh. Do not go to downtown Raleigh. Stay away from Garner. If you're thinking about heading into Garner, to Raleigh, to Hayes Barton, to the Carter Finley area, if you're thinking about heading to points northward, eventually up Capitol Boulevard, you need to turn around and stay out of this area because the storm is moving rapidly to the north and east, and we'll be moving over downtown Raleigh. Tornado on the ground. Multiple reports of debris continuing to fall out of the sky east of Apex as well. There is a tornado on the ground, and it is a large tornado.
And Mike, that's confirmed by our dual Doppler radar. We are still seeing the signature here with debris, the pockets of yellows and greens and purples, not only one with the primary circulation, but also another one along Highway 1. And we've got a traffic camera on Weather 11. This is I-40 in Harrison. We can have, Nick, you can pull that up and show us what we're looking at. There's a very heavy rain there. And John, can you pull up the traffic camera at Highway 1 and Interstate 40? I'm very interested to see what that shows, because our radar is suggesting we have debris in the air in addition to rain and hail and everything else. That circulation is now getting ready to cross over the Interstate 40, the outer that line, and into West Raleigh. Mike?
We have a report that the National Weather Service in Raleigh is seeking shelter right now. The National Weather Service in Blacksburg will have temporary backup because the folks at the Weather Service are seeking shelter. And
this is common policy. The National Weather Service, if they're in the immediate area, they'll take shelter. And another Weather Service office has been following this all afternoon, the folks in Blacksburg, and they'll begin to continue to get to the warning. So you don't have to worry about it on national coverage here.
No, not at all.
Of course, we're going to stay with you throughout the entire event until this threat is over and out of the area. The circulation now crossing Interstate 40 just to the south of Raleigh. You live in West Raleigh, and I'm going to go ahead and just zoom into some of these areas, and we're going to start labeling streets. The storm track really doesn't mean anything at this point. We want to go ahead and start labeling streets. This is the Highway 1152 just to the south of Interstate 40. Then we've got Avon Ferry Road over near NC State. We also have Western Boulevard. This is where the television station is, and WRAL is located, just so you know. We are right about here, and we are in line for this tornado. And I want to see if one of our production folks can pull up the live sky camera that we've got on top of the tower here. We need to be taking shelter from this thunderstorm immediately. I'm going to pull up the storm safety tips if we can. Remind you what those are. Get to the lowest level of your home or wherever you happen to be. You want to get in a sturdy building, first of all. And Mike, what are you showing?
No, I'm just looking at the picture on the screen because we have the double boxes up. And the camera that Chad Flowers has focused to the southwest, it looks like. You have more experience covering tornadoes. That almost looks like a wedge.
Yeah, tornado. Yeah, that is probably a rain-wrapped tornado of some sort or another. There's very few rain wrapped around that particular circulation, whatever it is, and there's clearly something on the ground heading directly for West Raleigh. I cannot stress enough.
Because that's the BB&T building right there,
Yes.
and you're looking down 401.
Yeah, and I'm almost to the point now. Yeah,
we're sitting on top of the RBC Plaza. That's where the camera's located right
I'd
now.
like to go ahead and make the recommendation for folks in the TV station that are not essential to the coverage. They need to get downstairs. This is a dangerous situation with the tornado moving in this area. So Mike and I will continue to monitor the radar, but anybody who's not essential to us being on the air at this moment, I'd like to recommend that you get downstairs and take shelter from this.
Tornado on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you're looking at is our camera view. You're looking south and southwest from the RBC Plaza. We have a photographer on top of the RBC Plaza. That's the BB&T building that you see in downtown Raleigh. And you're looking south along 401, Highway 401. There's Ray Price Harley-Davidson dealership there. That activity is moving closer to our camera. It's going to be in the line of sight of this tornado. And so what we're seeing, we're likely not seeing the tornado at 353, and it's 6 miles southeast of Cary, moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. Now our staff is moving downstairs to our lowest floor for safe shelter. And so this is a very dangerous situation. We have a look at I-40 at Wade Avenue. We're searching for the tornado. The DOT folks are using their camera. They're looking towards the east, towards where the tornado is. If you're listening to Mix 101.5 right now, many cars on the road. And what is that? We're also on 99.9, the fan. If you're heading towards Raleigh, you need to pull off on the side of the road. You do not need to come towards downtown Raleigh. Stop where you are right now, pull over. You do not need to come to Raleigh. If you're in Nightdale and you're headed towards Raleigh, you need to stop where you are or turn around. Rollsville, the storm is heading in your direction. If you're in the Capitol Boulevard area, where 540 intersects, that storm is heading in your location. It looks like now on the radar view that we have that the greatest rotation is located between Garner, Raleigh, and also Nightdale. So it has shifted a little bit towards the east. So right now, the greatest threat area is around Garner, East Raleigh, and Nightdale. We can't stress enough that you need to take shelter immediately as the storm is moving in your direction. You see a big clear area around Garner and Nightdale. That's where we have the lift or the rising motion in the atmosphere, and where you see over here where the purple areas are located, that's where the rainfall is. And the tornado itself likely to be over downtown Raleigh as we speak. It's this area here, that notch you see between Garner and downtown Raleigh. That's where the greatest potential for the tornado would be. Nate, do you have anything to add?
Pull up the radar imagery here. The last image we got, 354, shows that we got a very impressive circulation, very deadly, potentially deadly situation across downtown Raleigh. Notice the hook echo here between the NC State campus area near the interstate and Wade Avenue, between there and downtown Raleigh. This little donut hole here indicates that we've got winds and rain that have wrapped completely around the primary circulation as it moves across downtown Raleigh. And as you saw from Chad's picture before we lost that picture, very dark clouds moving in that direction. We also have, this is moving off now, we're going to start concerned with Interstate 440 on the north side of town, the Hayes-Barton area, north of downtown Raleigh, North Raleigh as well, anywhere the Capitol Boulevard area. You need to be in your safe place. You need to be taking shelter from this this very, very dangerous situation. And Mike, just a couple of minutes ago, I stepped outside and we had hail at the TV station, winds.
This is the small line that's moving on by. So we still have that tornado warning for Cumberland, Harnett, and Sampson County to
Give you an idea of what some of the streets are. This is Highway 96. Now that moves into, and then there's Highway 98. That rolls through downtown Wake Forest. And then, let's see, what is this? This is Highway 401. So where 98, 96, and 401 all come together.